Yep.
The geopolitical tension between China, Japan, and Taiwan.
Oh boy.
Escalating.
My brother.
It's escalating.
But why can't we all just get along?
Right.
I wish. I wish.
Too much money. Too much money on the line.
And that's the truth. And this is another reason why American companies have to work together, because China is such a well-oiled machine right now. We can't afford to lose to them. And they, of course, we already talked about how they feel, but like Taiwan is theirs anyway. And with this carry trade and the Japanese bond market going crazy, it's an interesting time for China and Japan to have words with each other as well.
Yeah, Japan is a country that's been very neutral and kind of friendly to China for a long time. Now, they were once mortal enemies, but now the new prime minister was the first female prime minister of Japan ever, taking a more aggressive approach to the regime in Beijing. And I don't know if that's the best way to go
That's
about it.
not the best way when you have no power.
Well, they have allies. America.
Yeah. They announced a pledge to $500 billion and to invest in American infrastructure. That's an ally.
This reminds me when J. Cole drugged Drake into that battle and then backed out. Japan, that's cool to have an ally. But if Japan backs away and now you're in war with China, what you gonna do?
Can we just all get along?
DeepSeek caused our markets to drop, 13%? They're not publicly traded. Right. I just said Huawei and DeepSeek in partnership. That's a Voltron we may not be able to beat. Now is not the time for. We've been in a forever war. How many years has America not been in war?
In the history of the country?
In the history of the what 30 years? 28 years, something like that. We can't afford this. And from a technological standpoint, we can't afford it right now. Like you said, inflation is the way it's creeped up. We've had to print money. Like we're begging for rate cuts that we're not going to get. Now's not the time. We survived COVID. 2022 came. They changed the numbers to not have it actually reflect a recession. Now we're in this geopolitical war against China and BRICS. Now's not the time. You can only go to war when you have your money and your strategy together. We don't have our strategy together.
Do you think, because China still doesn't have the compute, or maybe you think they do, I'm not sure, but there's still conversations, right? Which is why Trump is still having conversations with G about what they're going to do with GPUs, whether Nvidia will be able to sell to them. Do you think they're at that level of compute of the AMDs and the Nvidias of the world? DeepSeek, we knew. They said that they did.
That was a farce.
That was a farce. Alibaba is trying to get in the space of and I don't think people don't talk about them enough in terms of AI cloud. And I know when I bring up AI cloud, I talk about AWS and Google and Microsoft, and then Oracle was number 4. But on the global scale, Alibaba is actually number 4, and Oracle would have been number 5. They're getting into the AI space in terms of GPUs. I just don't know if China has it yet. Will they get it eventually? I don't know if it has the technology for the GPUs that is needed to surpass us, which is why it's still a negotiation, right? I think there's leverage here, and we talked about those rare earth minerals. Like they have the leverage there. I think GPUs and AI still kind of are leveraged from American company dominance. I just don't know if they're there. Do you feel like that we're at that place where China is all right?
Not yet. But they're close. DeepSeek, being a non-publicly traded company, had a tremendous. 94% of the companies in the S&P 500 are underperforming the index. So if DeepSeek drug our market down, and I mentioned Huawei in combination with DeepSeek being a threat, which no one talks about it, but Huawei is a better tech company than majority of American tech companies now. China comes from the class you come from, Rashad. I'm not going to tell you I had a bomb until I drop it on your building. They're not going to even hint that they have an edge or a lead. And even DeepSeek front running that, I think that was a mistake. That's why they've been kind of quiet after. Are they there now? No. But could they be very soon? Jensen said.
And so when he said it, I felt like that was
A
politically
signal.
charged,
hmm
right? Like he's trying to make sure that they get these chips. But one of the things that we said with DeepSeek, and we've seen it with infrastructure, especially when in Chinese infrastructure and some of the things they've done, is that faster doesn't always equate to better,
True.
and faster usually equates to mistakes being made.
I agree 1,000%. But we're not in a position okay, if we go to war, we have Meta, Nvidia, AMD, Google, Amazon,
Mhm.
and who else?
You said Meta?
Of course.
Do we need more?
And in the history of American capitalism, because the spy business in corporate is a really big business nobody talks about. Do we think in a capitalistic society that China can't get to one of our executives to help them mastermind a double cross?